Air Jessie is the 16th episode of the 8th season of Full House. This is directed by Zwick, and as always there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. And with this one I'm going to go through things chronologically. Sometimes I will talk about each part of the narrative in turn, but with this one everything flows really well, so I'm just going to go through things in order. And it starts off with Stephanie coming home with a blouse that she made at school for sewing class. And Michelle was very honest, it didn't look very good. It's still better than anything I could do, but it didn't look great. Becky was a bit more tactful. She didn't really say it looked very nice. She managed to skirt around it. Stephanie seemed quite happy. DJ and Kimmy then come home, and it turns out that they're organising this charity basketball event, and they managed to get Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to help with this. And I'd never heard of him. Well, that's not true. I've seen this episode before, so I've heard of him at least one time previously, but I'm not familiar with his work. But he was a successful basketball player, so they're very excited, and they want Jessie to take part. And Jessie doesn't want any involvement. He doesn't do sports, but then Nicky and Alex encourage him, and he realises that he's going to do this for the boys. And Stephanie gives Becky her blouse to wear for the basketball game, so everybody's a winner. We then have quite a lovely scene with also a beautiful, beautiful moment where Danny and Joey are teaching Jessie some basketball moves. It's not really going very well, but then Comet gets the ball in the hoop, and it was a really fabulous moment. I'd love to know how many tries it took. Maybe they got it the first take, but I found that to be absolutely fabulous. And then it's just Jessie on his own. The others have left. He's just bouncing the ball around, really feeling sorry for himself, not feeling very good. And then, well, this guy walks in with his young child, and this guy is, of course, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Jessie doesn't know who he is, understandably. And this random guy, as seems to be the case, gives Jessie some pointers, helps him find his sweet spot. Jessie can actually get the ball in the hoop, and he feels really great about himself. We cut to the charity game. Rebecca is wearing, I don't know why I called her Rebecca there, Becky is wearing the blouse that Stephanie got her, and she does finally have to admit that she really didn't like it. And Stephanie was okay with that. I think Stephanie was happy with her work, but I think even she had to admit it didn't look the most stylish. And we had a really nice moment. And then the game begins, and Jessie realises, because of course he's there to referee, that the guy who helped him at the park was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And the game begins, the first 12 baskets wins, and we get some gameplay for a couple of minutes. Really great editing, really engaging. I don't care for basketball, but I still really enjoyed it. I can understand why people would love the sport. It does seem really engaging, really high intensity, really easy to root for people. There is an excitement when somebody shoots and you want them to get it in. I get it, I understand it. I don't care, but I understand it. And that really came across in the few minutes of gameplay that we got. And Jessie shoots, and he scores. And it was a really emotional moment. And he was mostly happy about this because he wanted to impress Nicky and Alex. I'm getting really emotional. It's so great to see Jessie overcoming that problem and being able to do something that he couldn't do. But I do think his motivation was incorrect. Can somebody's own motivation be incorrect? I guess misguided. Because he was doing this so that Nicky and Alex would think that he's a hero. And it turns out Nicky and Alex had to go on a potty break while Jessie shot the ball. Is that the right terminology? I have no idea. And he felt dejected because he did this for Nicky and Alex, and unfortunately they needed the bathroom they didn't get to see. And Becky says all of the right things, and I'm so glad that they delivered this message because I'd seen this before. I couldn't remember how it ended, and I was slightly concerned that they weren't going to help Jessie realise that his motivation was misguided, because as Becky does ultimately explain, it doesn't matter whether they saw him get the ball in the basket or whether they missed it. They're always going to think that he is their hero, that Jessie is their hero. They're always going to love him, and she said all of the right things, and I'm so glad that they ended with that message because I was worried that that wasn't going to be the case. Yes, obviously Jessie working hard at it, finding a technique that worked for him, sticking at it, that in itself is a great message. But I think that message might have been a bit lost if he focused too much on the fact that that's the reason he thought Nicky and Alex worshipping him as their father. Whereas it's maybe even in spite of his basketball abilities, that they love him. So I'm really glad that Becky delivered that message in a way that was very clear and very moving and a nice way to end things. And it's a really nice episode. I feel like it's been a while since we had a Jesse episode that was really just a Jesse episode, and it wasn't really about his relationship, or, I mean, it's kind of about his role as a father, but it was also about his own insecurities rather than about his insecurities with parenting. Obviously, a lot of the episodes recently, whenever it's focused on Jesse, has been about being a present parent, trying to juggle parenthood with his music career, or of course we've had episodes where the boys are going to preschool. It's nice to just focus on Jesse on his own and to spend time with him on his own, because he still is a person on his own, and I thought that was a really nice episode and I really enjoyed it, and ultimately I thought it was really good fun, but with a really beautiful message at the end there as well. All things considered, Air Jesse is a pretty sweet episode of Full House.